shit. Anyway, what's up, y'all? I'm sorry I haven't done a video in the past few days. So, I have a plan. So, I should be doing the Rocky 2 video later. If I don't do it later tonight, I will do it tomorrow morning before I go to work. But today's video will be another Jet Li video. I have been having fun watching a lot of those old Jet Li films. So the one I rewatched yesterday was Hero. Came out back in 2002. The last time I watched it was like 8 years ago. It was like on HBO back in the day, and I think I watched it with my dad. I think, or I watched it with a friend. I don't. I remember rewatching it within like the last few years, and I remember really liking it. But rewatching it again it was yesterday. It's a really good film. I really like it. It's it's almost like it has an interesting story because this film came out back in 2002, back in like the UK, back in China, but it didn't come out for America to come out to America for like the past 2 years. It didn't come out till August of 2004. So Tarantino really pushed for it. That's why like some of the posters say Quentin Tarantino presents this movie. And it makes sense because rewatching it last night, it does have like a Tarantino feel of, especially Pulp Fiction, like multiple stories. And I understand that's not just a Tarantino thing. Other directors have done that before too, but it does make sense because Pulp Fiction. Oh shit! Sorry about that. Um, but yeah. Fuck it, just roll with it. Sorry about that. But yeah, it does have that like multiple angles because I didn't remember the aspect of like the multiple angles thing. You have Donnie Yen, one of the best fight scenes. I remember reading some IMDb reviews, I think it was, or somewhere I saw. They said like, oh, it's just kind of a rip off Crouching Tiger. It's not. I'm not gonna definitely not gonna say it doesn't have inspiration from, especially some fight scenes. But it. Hold on. I guess I'll take a hit while the fucking plane flies over. But anyway, it does have like inspiration. I'm not gonna take that away, but it definitely has its own. Like that fight with Donnie Yen with the water was fucking phenomenal. Some of those fight scenes, and you have strong female characters like Flying Snow, played by Maggie Chung, and Zhang Yi, who you know from Crouching Tiger, also Rush Hour 2 was in it. They did a really good job. I like the whole multiple angles thing, and actually the guy who played the Emperor, because the whole point of the movie, because it was based off a story where the assassination attempt of King of Qin back in 227 BC. So it was based off that. So the king, you have like the king's retelling the story, which was the ending, and then Nameless slash Kin, I think was the name of the character, or Nameless. That's basically the name of the character. He's nameless. Jet Li did a really good job. It was just like I love the multiple angles. The fight scenes were beautiful, especially Kin and not Kin, Maggie Chung's character Flying Snow and Zhang's character Moon. That fight scene was dope. So I guess we'll get started here. Let me pack it bowl really quick. But this movie was really good. Rewatching it, it's really good. The fight scenes, Unleashed is still like his in terms of like pure like violence. That's still his best, but this was really good. And I thought Jet Li did a really good job of retelling the story, and the English dubbing was actually really good. It didn't feel like because there is just some really bad dubbing in some movies. It actually did a really good job here. And the person who played the Emperor did a really fucking good job. And the ending is beautiful. And, oh, according to SJWs, you don't have strong female characters before 2015. You have two in this fucking movie. So, Maggie Chung and Zhang did a really good job here. So. So, we kick off. The movie opens up. We're introduced to our character. This is ancient China. They did a really good job of capturing that ancient Chinese feel to it. That old period piece feel. We're introduced to Nameless, and he is basically being taken to the capital city to meet King of Qin, who's been there's multiple attempts by a Broken Sword, played by I think Tony Chung is his name, and Flying Snow, played by Maggie Chung, who I thought both did a really good job in this movie. So the story starts. We get Nameless's take where he recruits Long Sky. They travel, and there's one really good scene where they're at this place where they're doing calligraphy, and this army arrives, and they start shooting a shitload of arrows, and Flying Snow and Nameless both just deflect it like multiple times. That action sequence. Oh, actually, no. Before that, we get the fight scene between Donnie Yen's character, which was Long Sky, and Jet Li's character. And the fight scene was beautiful, man. It was the part where they're like fighting through the water, and you see the little details in the water was fucking beautiful. And and in general, just the fight scene between fucking Donnie Yen and Jet Li just makes sense. And it's within like pretty early in the film, and the point of it was to make it seem like he killed Long Sky, which is Donnie Yen's character. But it turns out, he says later in the film that he basically is trained in making it seem like a wound is worse than it is, basically. And then he gets close to Flying Snow and Broken Sword, which is Tony Chung's character. And in this version, holy shit, goddamn. You're just gonna deal with this. Sorry, guys. But, and in this version of the story, Broken Sword and Moon have sex, and that's why um, Flying Snow is jealous, and she kills um, and she kills Broken Sword, and then Moon confronts her. We get this, like, I'll admit, this scene especially, it's definitely inspired by Crouching Tiger, but I think they did a good job of making it their own. And the fight scene between the two is good. And when Flying Snow stabs Moon, all of a sudden the leaves, which were initially like yellowish orange, they turn into red, and that scene was beautiful. Just in general, Flying Snow, I like how cold she is, man. There's just some scenes, she just stabs a motherfucker with no hesitation. It just, then Nameless kills her because in his take, she's emotional and she can't fight. But then the king pretty much says that's bullshit, because he says when he fought them, they weren't like that. So in his version of the film, Nameless seeks out Snow, because he basically is saying they were staging the battle with Sky, and then they're doing their technique to kill the king. And there's like this one scene where he destroys, like, I don't know remember which exact part is of the movie it is, because it's been a few days, but there's a part where he like takes down this exact arrow. It's fucking beautiful. It's just so she meets Nameless, and in this version, they choose which one who will fight um, Nameless. She decides to do it, and she stabs him in a way that wouldn't kill him. Then it turns out Sword watches as Snow gets taken down, and then in this version, Snow and Broken Sword and Nameless have a quick fight while he's mourning. You know, he has a quick moment. He's mourning her body. Then they have a quick fight. Really dope fight. You know, obviously, neither of one of them are trying to kill each other, and it's still like just a good fight all around. So there's a moment where Nameless basically has the kill shot and he doesn't take it. Then he walks away. Then Moon gives her her master sword, and then there you. Then Nameless admits this is where we now are getting close. To basically, what actually happened, where he does admit the special technique in where he can not take a vital wound. This is where Sword admits finally, because there's a moment where they finally the moment Sword admits that he and Flying Snow try to take the king. They breached the area. Then Sword had a final moment where he could kill the king, and he seemingly, even in the way it's shot, they make it seem like, oh, he does do it, but no, it's a little cut that isn't actually serious. And he says he doesn't want to do it because he's trying to unite. Because there's a moment, one of the best scenes of the movie, to be honest, when he confronts Nameless. Because there's a moment where Nameless and Sword, Flying Snow, Sword, it's like a bunch of big fight. Just the fight scenes in general are just fucking beautiful. I like the whole multiple angles thing. That's why I think it's kind of shot like a Tarantino film, because you do have the multiple angles thing, and I think they do a really good job. Like, and in this version, and there's even a moment where Moon even like fights fucking Jet Li. Granted, she gets bodied pretty quick, but you know, then Moon, you know, obviously they're going forward with the plan where, you know, he makes it seem like he kills Flying Snow, but he didn't. Then Sword and Moon kind of confront him, and basically he does calligraphy, basically telling him, "Oh, don't do this, and if you could read this, this is why you shouldn't do it." And it's a really good scene, because obviously when the real reveal, because the moment he confronts the king, he actually finally ends up not killing the king. And he reveals the two words were, because the king, he wanted the king to like basically unite China. So he feels like if you're gonna kill the king, you're just gonna make more issues. So he decides not to do it. Then basically he kind of does the symbolic, like, walking to basically execution. While this happens, you know, Flying Snow, frustrated because, you know, she knows he convinced him not to do it. She tries to fight him, and then there's a moment where we get a cool fight, but Broken Sword decides not to deflect the stab, and he gets stabbed. And it's so sad because it's like, Maggie Cheung's acting in the scene is so good. God damn it, sorry guys. Two words Broken Sword says is our land, because he wants to unify the country. And that's so really, like, so deep. Because, yeah, Nameless's reason is because his the Emperor's king soldiers, or Emperor, I guess, because it's China, soldiers killed his family. And it's like now you gotta think: is it you want to take a vengeance for your family, or now you gotta accept it's a bigger issue? Unite your people. So he takes the unite your people, and flying. The fact that Flying Snow basically kills Broken Sword, and you could tell she didn't want to do it. She was even like, "Why didn't you block? Why didn't you block?" It's such a good scene, but the good scene between the two. Tony Chung, Maggie Chung did a phenomenal job in this scene. So what she does is she takes the sword she stabbed uh, Broken Sword with and basically plunges it into her heart, committing seppuku so they can like kind of die together. While you get this really good scene where like the king, the emperor is asked, should you commit execute, and they even like the way they shot it, you get like this big execute, 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 and you can tell he doesn't want to do it, but he has to do it to unify the country, so he does it, and it's such a beautiful scene. And then the closing text says that the king becomes the first emperor of China. It's such a good scene, man. It's such a good movie. The multiple tells, the like, such it's such a good story. The dope fight scenes. Yeah, you could tell there's a bit of inspiration from Crouching Tiger, but I think it does a good job of being its own thing. Jet Li as Nameless is did a good job. One of Jet Li's best. Like I said, this period of Jet Li, like I would really say starting from Lethal Weapon 4, even though he's like a bad guy in that. Like just going from that to this, he's just done a his whole late 90s to early aughts run just was badass. Like, the past few weeks I've been reviewing Jet Li movies, and this was one of his best. I forgot like how good this movie is. It's such a sad tale. You have strong female characters, but they're flawed. Flying Snow, I'm not gonna lie, she's fucking savage. Like, the quickness she stabs the motherfucker, but then in the end, she finally realizes the wrong. And you have Moon, who's such a good character, too. Zhang Zi is fucking awesome. Obviously, she was great in, Crouching Tiger. And then Jet Li's such a good character, that the Emperor, and especially in the end, where he's just like, he doesn't want to fucking do it, but he has no choice. It's such a good fucking movie. And then like I said, I didn't even really mention the moments where there's just no dialogue and there's just music playing. That's like I said, it's kind of Tarantino. There's just moments in some Tarantino films, especially like the Kill Bill movies, where there's just moments where there's no dialogue. There's just music playing, and it's fucking beautiful. I love this movie. This movie is beautiful. Definitely watch it. I rarely give most movies a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. I fucking love this movie. So, definitely, this movie's great. I definitely recommend. Later tonight or tomorrow, I will be reviewing Rocky 2. Rocky 2 still is so good. We'll talk about that later. But other than that, fuck LeBron, fuck Disney, fuck Warner Brothers, fuck Joy Reid, fuck Kevin Smith, and fuck Joe Biden. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Peace!